That's why I brought it up.
We got a hat trick for you, ladies and gentlemen, with these next stories. We got this one from timcast.com. Quote, "They will lose and they know it. Democrats will lose if election is a referendum on Biden," Psaki says. "Follow the money," said the former press secretary. She says if it's a referendum on Biden, they're going to lose. But if it's a referendum on extremism, they're going to win. All right. Here's the next story. Michael Moore predicts Democrat landslide against the traitors. Friday on HBO's Real-Time, liberal documentary filmmaker Michael Moore defied conventional wisdom and predicted a landslide victory for Democrats in November's midterm election. There are so many signs of this. I think if we all do our work and we all get people to get out there and we get ourselves, I think we can throw out a huge number of these Republican traitors in November. He says, I think that there's going to be such a landslide against the traitors, especially the 147 Republicans who just hours after the insurrection voted to not certify the elected president of the United States, Joe Biden. I think there's going to be so many people coming out to vote. And then lastly, with the hat trick from the conservative brief, pollster, GOP midterm turnout will exceed already high expectations as parties' fortunes grow. So what's it going to be? Psaki says if it's about extremism, they win. If it's about Biden, they lose. Michael Moore says the Democrats are going to win. And then this pollster is saying that the Republicans are going to win. So what is it? What do we got?
It's
what
really,
do we have? I don't know.
Yeah, it's really hard to say. I mean, it was Joe Rogan and another very popular commentator. I forgot his name right now. I'm blanking right now. That also was from the left that came out and said, hey, everyone should vote Republican for this upcoming midterm. It's going to be...
Was it that?
That was Rogan.
It was Rogan and somebody else. I forgot who else.
Was Kalinsky?
I don't think
it was.
It was somebody. It was somebody else coming from a very surprising figure that shocked a lot of people. That this person actually said this. I have it somewhere here in my notes. But it's going to be interesting to see the turnout, to see if people actually do decide to vote, or whether they're just so disenfranchised with this kind of emotional manipulation that they're just going to tune out. Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
He was.
I thought it was. You said it was a leftist commentator,
Rogan.
and I was like, I thought it was Aaron Rodgers.
It was. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers on Rogan. But what was interesting is that I think it does have to do with if people are going to turn out. So many people are dissatisfied. Nothing really seems to be going right in the country. You have Biden's really horrible speech with his blood red background, speaking in front of the Independence Hall. I found it really troubling, that speech, and I think a lot of people did. I talked to Democrats who also found it troubling for different reasons, but believed that it would be effective for Democrats to be motivated to go vote. And I think it was, to a certain extent, motivating for them. The GOP, I think, really should lean into the issues that Americans care about. McCarthy, barely made any noise the other day, even though he gave that whole speech. But you did see him starting to unite a little bit with the new right. He had MTG sitting right behind him in a pink blazer. I was really glad to see her there. She's someone who initially I was like, I'm not so sure. And I've really come to have a lot of a lot of respect for her. I like her a lot. So I liked to see that. I like to see that being a little more unified. But I think they have to lean more into the new right stuff than the establishment stuff.
Well, the issue is that what people care about doesn't generate clicks.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're like, let's talk about economics, the average person is not going to share a story that says here's how we improve the economy.
Right.
What's going to get shares is Trump supporters are fascists and Democrats are giving children sex changes.
Right.
So those end up becoming dominant issues.
And I'm not sure if you've experienced this too, but stories about the border, which people do say they care about immigration, border stories don't get a ton of shares either.
Why do you think that is?
I think because it's super depressing to see little kids abandoned at the border. I don't think we've had any reasonable solutions that have been enacted other than, during the Trump years, it slowed down substantially, I think. But I just don't think it's an issue that people want to deal with. I think people are primarily conflicted about it, and
it's going
cognitive
to be
dissonance.
Yeah, I think there's something like that going on with it.
I think what I'm going to be looking for in this upcoming midterm is one, how many people come out. Two, how effective is social media going to be, and big and corporate media in swaying the emotions of people to vote a particular way.